Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you are watching the actual play channel where we play amazing tabletop role playing games together. Mad J. Brown was kind enough to let me step in and GM for a bit, and I'm immensely grateful for his trust and excited to run something for the channel. All proceeds for this channel are split between Black Lives Matter and the Trans Legal Defense and Education Fund. This is the final session of our run of Bounty of the Week. It's not the end of the group. We are going to continue with Star Wars, and it appears we're going to have all new characters for our new game, but we'll talk about that later. For now, we are playing Bounty of the Week, which is a Star Warsified hack of the wonderful Monster of the Week, which comes out from Evil Hat, written by Michael Sands. Now, Monster of the Week is the idea of like Supernatural meets X-Files meets Buffy, and a little bit of BPRD all rolled into one. It's a very cool game. And Bounty of the Week is taking the core mechanics in most of the playbooks, reflavoring them for bounty hunters, a la The Mandalorian, if you have seen that. Less Book of Boba Fett, a lot more Mandalorian. If you have watched both series, although I did enjoy both series, and we are again in the last session. There are some new mechanics that we'll go over in the second hour, but for this first hour, we are going to be jumping in to take care of some family business, as it were. Let's go around the horn in order to reintroduce our characters, because it's been a few weeks. So let's redo that thing. Let me add this to the stream. There we go. So we're going to start from the left hand side, heading towards the right, which means that Jeremiah, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character, man.
Yeah, I am Jeremiah. I use the he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Raksu, an agent slash ex-agent of a guerrilla warfare group called the Katarn Commandos. He's trying to be a bounty hunter until he can get enough resources to get away from that old group. Cutting ties.
Cutting ties. And every time you think you're out, you know that
Pull you
you're
back
afraid
in.
to pull you back in. Damn
Every
straight.
time.
Right in the middle here is Misha. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, Misha B. She, they. I'm playing Azure. She's the Chiss sensitive, trying to escape her family, but not admitting to trying to escape her family. Uh, Theoretically, she's looking for her boyfriend that left her at the altar, who apparently didn't actually leave her at the altar. And I don't know. It's complicated. Yeah, it's complicated.
Family always is.
Right?
Well, he didn't get to become family because he left her at the altar.
Yeah, he chickened out.
He
Could have
did.
just said something. You know,
He
been
could have,
easier.
but he vamoosed, and then you guys reconnected, and you kind of paid his way so he could take off yet again. Didn't pay the full way,
Ish.
but enough for him to
I mean,
buzz
he
off.
didn't exactly get away. He's still in jail. Well,
That is
bounty
true. He is,
hunter
yeah, bounty hunter jail.
That's true. He's in bounty hunter jail. That is a very true point. You found him, but you didn't bring him back. And then last, certainly not least, the man, Mad J. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character, please.
I'm Matt J, he, him pronouns. I'm playing Yoon. You know who does not have family problems? Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers do not have family problems. I'm playing a stormtrooper that was left for dead on a planet by other stormtroopers.
But isn't your squad basically your family?
I mean, truth.
No. I mean, I
It's
killed
like a
two of
found
them,
family.
right?
Yes.
You don't
That
kill
makes it
your
worse.
family.
That makes it worse.
I
when you
mean,
found family
it
abandoned
depends
you.
on like what where you're from. I mean, some people, some places
No,
killing
that
your
is
family
true.
is a thing.
That is
I mean,
true.
you know,
Very
kings and
true.
queens, they do this all the time. They call it securing succession.
But yeah, you've got a particular drive to, and I find this fascinating because you, Yoon, have been hardcore. I am going to get vengeance
Yes.
upon the person who sold me out.
Right.
and you've been trying to hunt down Lieutenant Weinaragant, and what's funny is your drive is to prove your worth to someone.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
nothing
Yep.
to do
Yep.
with the
Yep.
thing you've actually been doing. It's so
I
fascinating.
know.
to me.
I know. And I have no way to square that, man.
No way to
the-
square it at
The
all.
vengeance thing felt good in play, so I started running it down. Right.
I know, but that true drive, the reason he's hunting bounties, the thing he wants to accomplish is proving his worth to someone. I love that dissonance between what he's doing and what he wants. Because the thing he's doing is probably not going to prove his worth to anyone, because at the end of that rope is killing.
It's killing.
I mean, it proves a certain worth. You're an excellent bounty hunter.
I bet you there's a certain hut that might appreciate my skills. And
There
might-
is a certain hut that may appreciate your skills. There is indeed. He's been okay with your work so far.
See.
You guys are
Have we seen-
far away from the rock, Power City's rock, because as we pick up this session, the Stringer Bell is coming out of light speed, out of hyperspace engines, coming out in that quick stop, and we see, of course, we're going to do the lovely. Oh, don't want to do the news layout. I'm always tempted to do the news layout. I'm not going to do it. You see the planet of, we're going to call it Scylla. Scylla is an ice planet, as you can see from all the white there and the very little bits of blue. It is an icy planet.
Blue.
It's the homeworld of the Chiss, the species of which Azure is from. And the Stringer Bell is headed back to Scylla because that is where Azure's corporation, her family corporation, is headquartered, and where her father, her dying father, Kresnos Kekuia Azlakan, or Krez for short, because the Chiss, who are blue-skinned individuals, have extremely long names that they often shorten to single monosyllabic names or a couple of syllables to keep things easy.
Much shorter than like full names.
Exactly. So the Stringer Bell comes out of hyperspace. So a little bit of work as you guys handle the detail to head down. Just to double check, Azure, I assume your corporation is located on the planet itself, not up in a space station or anything like that.
Yeah, I think the headquarters is definitely on the planet. We probably have a satellite station or two, but the actual office.
And I'm imagining that the office is one of those like huge monuments to the empire of commerce that has been established by your corporation. How old is the corporation? Is it a nouveau riche thing that's just come up in a couple of generations, or has it been around?
Yeah, no, we're old money. We've been around a while.
And are you a Zaibatsu or a mega corporation that has its hands in all kinds of pies, or is there a particular industry that the corporation is
I
most
think in the last like generation or two, we started branching out, but we don't have as firm a foothold in those. I think we have mines somewhere. That's our core business.
so mining, metals, that kind of stuff, manufacturing. Okay, that is interesting. But I assume that we're not headed to the corporate headquarters because you need to see your family, or do you? Is that the plan? As you guys are coming in to the atmosphere, we see this blistering white cold outside. Where do you direct Yoon? Because I assume Yoon is piloting the Stringer Bell.
Yeah, so so you see a city, and there's like lots of tall buildings, and then like on the outskirts there's more like villa kind of things. And I direct him towards one of those.
Nice. So we do the quick screen wipe that then shows the stringer bell coming down, and there's this. We hear the sound effects of the blizzard like wind that comes down, and because of course there are going to be special edition winter gear figures of your characters. I need to know, Yoon, are you in the snow trooper or kind of get up, that we saw in Hoth? Or what is it that Yoon wears when you step down the gangway, the gangplank, heading onto Azur's family's compound?
Yeah, no, I think all this time he's been living in the cargo, kind of a cargo space, right? Living out of trunks. And I think maybe he's got 2 cargo trunks, right? And one of them is the snowsuit, right? And so, yeah, he comes out, he steps out, and he's got his full Stormtrooper winter gear on. I think for a fact he checks because he doesn't know, right? I don't know. I haven't had the lightsaber all my life. Will it work when it's this cold? And so I think he checks, right?
Oh, does
Oh,
he?
okay.
Oh man,
That's
is
news.
Checks. Yeah.
that is cool.
Yeah, I want to
That
make
is-
sure, right? Because I don't
Mhm.
know.
You don't
It's
want
true.
it to be all frozen up, you know.
Right. That could be a bad thing.
It could be, but when you reach down and you ignite
Yeah.
that saber,
Yeah.
the lights. Remind us, what color is the blade?
Did you pick?
So I didn't make it. I imagine in his travels after being ejected from the Stormtrooper Corps,
Acquired it.
right? I acquired it.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know, man. So I'm not up on the color lore. I know
You pick the color, whatever you want.
they
Here's the
mean
deal.
things.
There are people who are all about the color, but I'll tell you that Luke's lightsaber changed from green to blue because it was a better color for the film.
Gotcha.
So
And Mace
Gotcha.
Windu
Think
wanted
of whatever
purple because Samuel L. Jackson said, "I want a purple lightsaber." They said, "Okay, we'll make
Nobody
it work."
says, and nobody says no to Samuel L. Jackson.
Pretty
Right,
much.
right.
and people came up with lore about the purple, and there's absolutely lore about the colors, but do not feel beholden. Also,
All right.
you kind of picked it up. It's
Yeah, I
it's
did.
okay.
I did.
I will say I am still I'm still a strong lover of the red for the bad guys. So I'll just
Yep. And unfortunately, I think the energy when we're talking about sci-fi energies, I think red is the best looking to me, right? Like the different colors,
still
or
full
shades
on.
of red, right?
you're going with Snow Trooper, and you're going with
Red light.
red lightsaber. That's
Yeah, I think it's a crimson color, right?
Ooh.
Yeah,
I know you can't trust Imperials.
right. Because it contrasts with my white armor.
Mhm.
So nice. In fact, I'm also thinking of putting like a white,
Nice.
like a white stripe, like a racing stripe down the
oh
helmet.
dope.
Yeah.
I mean, Racy Stripe. Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, it'll have to be like a different color. It can be a white stripe because who could tell? You may
Right.
be all stripy right now, and we can't tell because
It could be a different
It's
color white.
texture.
Yeah, there you go. It's like eggshell versus satin finish.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
no, this stripe is ecru, okay?
And this is why I only have 8 crayons, man.
My
Just 8
colors are
crayons.
blush
That's it.
and bashful.
All right, Jeremiah, I've bought you plenty of time. Now you must describe to us winter gear Raksu.
Sure. So you know how when like somebody grows up in like southern Florida or maybe in California in the West Coast, and they go up north for like the first time and they like extremely overcompensate? That's Raksu. Because like their home planet is like an arid desert kind of world. So like I'm not loving this at all. I'm really bundled up.
Nice.
Big,
Is it the thing
heavy
where you, like,
fur
really
coats and
see the eyes.
yeah, I got like the big like snowboard style goggles or but the sci-fi version, just like yeah.
I'm feeling some serious Han Solo on Hoth energy. And
That's probably about right.
good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Probably image search, but oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, definitely like probably a
Fur line on
bulkier
the
coat,
the
but
hood.
yeah.
Bulkier coat, ooh, more
Yeah.
puffy coat. I like it.
And definitely better pants. Like he's just wearing like trousers. Like, come on, man, my legs are cold.
They might be lying. You don't know.
I mean, mine are gonna be really light. Looking for a tauntaun out here.
That's right.
Line made of tauntaun fur. Yeah.
I'll just wrap myself up in
and
it.
then
Oh.
last but certainly not least, coming down the very last is Azure. And how is it that Azure is dressed for this frigid cold weather?
So she like went back to her wardrobe and she's got like, the heavy velvets and the fur and it's a little over the top. It's a lot over the top.
Nice.
It's imagine floor length cape, velvet lined with fur, and then underneath that there's like a tunic with like fur around the cuffs and the neckline, and then heavy skirt underneath that. And yeah, there are layers. She does not like the cold. That's why she left in the first place.
Nice.
You hate the cold, it gets everywhere, right?
It does. Gets up your skirts and down your shirts. Nobody likes the freaking.
Shirts, it's terrible. And we see waiting at the landing bay area is Falun, your faithful servant, the woman who informed you about your father being extremely ill. And yeah, she sees you and moves forward, kind of skirts around Yoon a little bit, and would she call you Rexia, or would she
Probably
blurt
either
out your
Rexia or
entire
Mistress
name?
Rexia or something to that effect.
Mistress Rexia? I'm so glad that you could make it. Your father and mother await you.
Yes, these are my friends, Yoon and Roxu. They are to be treated with the utmost respect. They are honored guests.
Of course, mistress. And what is the first thing that Rexu and Yoon would notice as you walk in? Of course, is it warmer inside?
Oh yeah, like there's like it's. You know how when you walk in the winter and you're in somewhere cold, they've got the heaters that like blast down at the doors. Yeah, that's totally a thing. So it's like pretty much night and day. Like it's not quite like a force field barrier kind of feeling, but it's definitely you step in and oh wait, it's warm, and so you kind of like see her shedding a coat and handing it off pretty much immediately. It's too warm for furs. I mean, it's not like desert hot, but it's definitely a much more comfortable temperature.
Nice. You're perfectly climate controlled. Do you stay in this no trooper gear as you come in? You get a readout that the temperature has changed.
I take my helmet off. I don't know these people.
Falun takes your furs as yours. She offers to take your coats, Rexu, and offers to take your helmet to have it polished. Yoon?
I got a metal holder right there on the side. I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, very well. Understood. She
Click.
calls for a few people who run up and will take off with Rexu's coats to store them. And Azure, they'll be taking your furs up to your room, which hasn't only been cleaned and has never been changed since you left. Your mother insisted that we leave your room exactly as you had left it.
That's good to know. Trying to just remember if she had the embarrassing posters up.
Some like Chiss boy band or something.
Yeah, something like.
Nice.
But yeah, she starts like striding down to the hall to where she knows her parents' room is.
Cool.
At least that's where she assumes her dad would be if he's this sick.
Yes. As you do, of course, we hear the the sound of like a soft beep and a monitor, and you come in and you see that your parents' bedroom has been converted in many ways to what could easily pass for a very expensive hospital room. Your father is actually behind. Well, he's on a large bed, but there's actually like an oxygen tent set up there. And the first thing that you notice is your father, when you left, Krez was a hale and hearty man. I imagine that the Chiss, they age slowly. The cold,
It's very preserving.
get more
Well
years.
preserved.
But you see that along his neck you can see these black veins. They creep up like little spider webs along his cheeks. His eyes are sunken. You can see the bags underneath them. Looks as if he has not slept in quite a long time. But more than any of that, you recognize that his hairline has receded a great deal, and he looks very sickly. His fingers are a little bony. His arm seems to have lost some definition. He looks so very frail. Your mother is, of course, appropriately here, standing, but kept apart because of this oxygen tent that's been set up. Your mother, by the way, her name is Gloquois is what she goes by. Of course, she has a much longer name. Here, I'll quickly bring up a picture.
Goes by
of her.
mom.
Goes by mom for certain people. Probably not for Yoon, I would guess. But there's Gloquois, your mother, and she greets you formally. So she goes by mom. How warm is the relationship between Azure and her mother?
Probably still a little distant. It's probably not actually mom, it's probably mother. They might have been closer when like she was little, but like as she got older, there was like some distance because expectations were different about what should happen next.
Rexia, she says coolly. I'm going to use all the puns, all the cold puns. I'm just getting them out of the way. He says coolly. It is good that you came before he passes.
She kisses, like does the like double cheek kiss thing.
And she does the thing where it's like she brings her arms around you, but it's like it's not a hug. It's a very quasi formal thing.
I came as soon as I heard. I had some disturbing information about father's health and the cause thereof.
What do you mean? He has a very rare disease. That is disturbing in and of itself, but you speak as if there is something else. Speak plainly to me, daughter.
The information I got was that he was being poisoned slowly.
And you believe this? You believe that I would allow such a thing to happen?
I believe we have misplaced our trust.
And who is perpetrating this?
Player forgets the family doctor's name.
That's okay. Krethi is the brother.
I believe that my brother has decided to hasten his ascension to the head of the family through the doctor. that is attending to father.
Oh, it seems that you have come a great many sectors away on a foolish errand. You know that your brother would not do such a thing. If you searched your feelings, you would know it is true. But perhaps someone else has poisoned your mind against your family.
I would not be as sure as you seem to be. I recall my brother's ruthlessness from childhood, and this seems quite in line with something he would do. I know you've always had a soft spot for him, but perhaps it's time to take off the blinders.
I think perhaps you and your friends should retire to your chambers and prepare yourself for a meal. Crethy will be there. You can lay your false accusations at him there.
I'd like to speak to father before I go.
Very well. She will step aside, and she looks to you, Yoon, and you, Raksu, and says, "Gentlemen, if you would please come with me. Let us give them some privacy."
You see as your nod. That
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to give him some privacy.
This double doors, so it's a thing where she goes out into the hallway, turns and pulls both of the doors closed together, and she turns to regard the two of you. You understand the Empire has fallen, do you not?
You don't know me. No, I don't say that.
Wow, that was just about the worst first impression ever. Just about.
No, I don't say that.
Okay. So she says, you realize that the Empire has fallen.
That is true. It has.
Why do you wear the symbols of their broken authority?
It's all I know. It's comforting. There's still a man inside here.
Is there? She looks and gestures, and one of the servants comes up. Please show these two guests to the rooms that we have appointed for them. She didn't even talk to you, Raksu. Like, didn't even address you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I got a sinking feeling something's not right here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I also just realized how funny it would be to name the read a bad situation, rename it to I've got a bad feeling about this.
That's really good.
That's a mighty good suggestion. Would you like to got a bad feeling?
Yeah. Oh, and don't I have
Nice.
the thing? Oh, look, I get to roll cool instead of sharp because
And your
because
cool
is now 3.
it's a 3. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Let's see how. So the roll's going to show up here when you get that in 2d6 plus 3, and you are looking for 7 or better.
I'll take it.
Wow, that is a 13.
That's
I think
fantastic.
that'll do it.
That is not even going to need help. Read a bad sitch on a
I'll
10.
get hold 3.
10 plus hold 3. Let's blow that up so you can see those questions.
Are there any dangers that we haven't noticed?
Are there any dangers you haven't noticed? You check out the scene, and I think you're like, just so I'm curious. I'm
Sure.
curious. Set the
Okay.
scene for me. So is Raksu actually going with the servant and traveling through the
Um,
house, or are you just checking
sure.
things out near the father's
Gotcha.
room?
So I think like narratively, like
Mhm.
I think Raksu's sort of been like looking around since he got in here, like
Mhm.
especially with the conversation between Azure and her mother. I think he's kind of just like almost head on a swivel, like keeping keeping an eye out, like especially paying attention to the mom because something seems a little strange there. So she seemed way too sure that there's no possibility of malfeasance. So I don't trust her myself.
And Azure had told you what she had heard before you guys got to the planet. Like, so she had laid out everything she had heard.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, and we're also here for a bounty of some sort, right? That we think might be connected to this whole mess.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm kind of keeping that in mind too, of like, trying to put those connections together in my head.
You bet. You
Because
bet.
I'm a tactical genius.
You are. And you're so
Apparently.
good at this. You are credit to Kyle Katarn and the Katarn Commandos, which is why they never want you to go.
That's right.
Ever.
We want you back.
Blood in, blood out.
So, the danger you haven't noticed is that as you look around, you see, first of all, there are cameras here. Your every move is being watched. And you've seen a few of the servants, people milling about. They appear to be surreptitiously armed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you pull something, there's going to be a lot of guns pointed at you.
Okay.
That's just one question, though.
Yeah, that's good to know.
These are holds, so you could potentially hold for a little bit as long
Sure.
as this read feels
Yeah.
relevant. You have another?
Yeah, I want to. Well, what's my best way out? So if shit does hit the fan,
Mm-hmm.
what's my route?
I mean, there are windows, there are doors, but it is frigid cold out there, and they've taken your coats. So your best way out is to make your way back to the Stringer Bell, post haste.
Well, too quick.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't give them my suit.
And then let's just knock all this out. Let's say, what's the biggest threat?
Nice.
The biggest threat that you have seen at this point is she obviously has a very negative opinion of you and seems to have a pretty negative opinion of Azure. She's been nothing but hostile towards her. And she's the one directing the servants around and seems perfectly comfortable with the setup of everything from a security perspective.
Gotcha. Okay.
And since we broke to talk briefly about there was a bounty, as a reminder, the bounty is for Zuba Kondris.
Yeah.
Is running a grift training young ones in ways of the Force. And she's supposedly here in Scylla. So let's cut to Azure. You're left alone with your father. He seems to be sleeping. What do you do?
She like pulls the curtain thingy aside, and like sits on the edge of the bed and like reaches out and like touches his hand.
touch his hand, and it feels dry, like old newspapers in a way. His eyelids move just slightly, and he strains to open his eyes. You see the normally bright red eyes of the Chiss. You see that it is a dull crimson. Are you real?
Pretty sure. I'm not so sure about you, old man.
For now, I am still here. Why have you come back? You said you'd never come back.
Well, then somebody decided they had to go and poison my father, and so I couldn't let that stand.
No. Oh, you've been misled.
Are you
I'm
sure?
sick. No, it's... It sounds as if you might be trying to convince him that he's been poisoned, perhaps?
Sure.
What do you want to offer up that he might believe? What reason would he have to trust this, as far as he's concerned, out of the blue accusation?
Um, remember when I was 7 and I fell from my mount? Or at least that's what Creti wanted everyone to believe. And then we found the burr that he had placed under the saddle.
Yes.
Well, I think you're the burr right now. You're all that's standing between him and being in charge.
He is quiet, reflective. I would like for you to attempt to roll plus charm. The good news is, as I recall, you're a +1 charm.
Reasonably charming.
You are. So let's see what we get.
We get a 10.
Nice. Your father looks at you for a long while. You can tell he does not want to believe this. That it pains him to even suspect your brother, his son. So everything changed when that woman arrived.
The Force user.
Yes, she's... Your brother trusts her. I've stayed away from her.
She has a bounty on her head.
That's why you're here.
Bonus fries.
Go. On to your bounty, then. Philin told me.
First, we have to make sure this, and she like points at all the equipment, is actually doing its job, Father. I did not come alone. They can hunt without me if need be.
The doors open up. It's not your mother. It's your brother, Crethy.
Crethy, brother, so nice to see you. Would that the circumstances were better.
It's Azure now, right? That's the name the pseudonym you've chosen? Too embarrassed of your own family to use your own name?
No, I find that the humans are very bad at pronunciation.
Uh-huh. And I see here you're letting all of the germs in. So let's see. Moves to try to pull you away to close the oxygen tent.
She's not moving.
Oh, really?
She came inside the tent, so she's
Right.
Well, yeah, she's not budging.
I assume you're going to stay in there with him then?
For now. We're catching up.
Close the seals it. You know, your exploits are well known to us, Azure. The scum that you've been associating yourself with has brought a great deal of shame to the corporation.
Oh, you mean like cavorting with a force user with a bounty on her head?
Speak of which you do not understand.
Oh, brother, I think I understand far more than you'd like to.
And then he slowly raises his fingers and just turns. And you feel your throat start to constrict. What do you do? Your father has no idea what's going on right now. I'm not sure you're entirely sure what's going on right now.
No, not entirely. But she kind of like cocks her head and looks at him. And then kind of like shoves with her body, like her shoves with the force, for lack of a better word.
Well, that sounds really interesting.
I'm trying to figure out what that would actually be.
I know. What would that be? Are you pushing your body past its limits
I think I might be.
I think then you should roll plus cool with no limits. At once we resolve this, we'll cut to Yoon and Raksu.
So that's an 8.
Okay. I did not jump over to the roller, but it is an 8. So
I'll
on a
take a
7
harm.
to 9,
Yeah,
you do it, but choose one consequence. Suffer one harm, take -1 forward. All right, so you take one harm. There was a moment where we could hear like you're gasping for breath and you just push it away. What do? You do this thing with the force. Do you just push him away? Do you push the unseen thing that was constricting your throat away? What do you see? You are successful with that one harm.
I think she's swatting at him. She's not swatting at whatever's at her throat. She's swatting at him. So yeah, there's like a, and like he goes backwards.
Yeah, he like flies back, maybe knocks over a chair, or like the van that your mother might have had pulled in to sleep nearby, and he stands up because it was totally not dignified. He did not look badass for a moment there, and that seriously pisses him off. He's interesting, very interesting. And he turns and he's just going to march right out of this room. And what do you do?
I think I might have to kill my brother, Father.
Oh, we got a cut from there. That is awesome. We just have like you see the dull crimson eyes and a little bit of surprise in his expression. Raksu and Yoon, the two of you are being led up the sweeping staircase, and you see. Oh, Azur, is there like a family portrait at the top of the staircase? Like
there's like a series of them. There's like, generation after generation just lining the hall, all kind of looking disapprovingly down on the hall. At least that's how Azur feels about it.
But as you guys are headed down a hallway, you pass one of Azur. What is that? Like, I'm imagining there's Azur riding some kind of animal, maybe like, and I don't care if it's Star Wars or you totally make it up, but is it some kind of bipedal thing? Is it some flying animal thing? Or is it an automaton of some kind? But it's a joyful moment.
I think it's kind of like this winged quadrupedal thing.
Nice. I like it. That's all we need. They ensure that there will be an action figure later. We see the painting of young Azur on this quadrupedal beast of some kind that is like this sleek ice blue, and Azur looks deliriously happy. One of the things, Raksu and you notice is that for such a gigantic estate, there are no children here. There aren't many members of the corporation or the family. It's a cadre of servants and employees, and it is very empty. Yes?
Oh, you look like you were gonna say something. I didn't want to interrupt.
I was, but you were going to say something too. You get to go first.
So there's a servant leading us somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I say to the servant, we're not too different. I used to have to do the bidding of masters. Are your masters good? Are they good to you?
She inclines her head for a moment. For most of my life, my masters have been excellent.
Is it different now?
I sincerely hope you enjoy your stay. With that, she gestures towards a door. The two of you will be quartered here. It should suit you.
Where's Azur staying?
Her room is on the other side of the hall. There's this like long look in the camera shot that's just like meters and meters and meters down.
Are we expected to stay in our quarters, or do we have some amount of freedom in the household? Can we wander?
It is best that you acquaint yourselves with your quarters until you are called for mealtime.
In my head, I'm like, that's not a no.
Yep, that's not a no.
And she reaches forward, opens the door, but stands in the hallway. And you see It's a large 2-bed
Sweet.
room, guest room. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
suite. It's got an ensuite. It's not like there's no kitchen, but there's definitely
Sure.
you could bathe here. There's a balcony as if you want to go outside, you know. You can see the railing is covered with ice.
I'm guessing all the servants have. Well, I guess I'll ask. All the servants like that we've seen around the house, are they all Chiss, or have there been?
Check,
Various-
Misha, when Azure left, were all the servants Chiss?
Within the household, yes, there may have been secretaries or such in the corporation, but in the household, yes.
Yes, they are all Chiss.
Because I didn't catch what Zuba is. Like, she's not Chiss, is she?
She is not. She's totally human.
Oh, okay, she's just a human. Okay,
Just
So-
a human.
it's just a human. So human will stand out.
Yes,
presumably.
very much.
Okay. Man, what I'd really like to do is try to question some servants. I think is what I want.
We got one right here.
We do. Yeah.
Do not freak.
Yeah. So
friends.
maybe when she opens when she opens the door into the
Mhm.
suite, I'll just kind of gently verbally prod her of why don't you give us the tour?
Nice.
We're unfamiliar with these sorts of accommodations.
Oh, so you want a tour of the room?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cute.
It's a suite. I don't know what kind of amenities it
Yeah,
has.
no, I don't even think
Might
that's-
be 3 seashells. You never know.
Oh, the 3 seashells. Nice. There's no role there.
Sure.
That's what she's supposed to do,
Yeah, that's
right?
fine. And so I'm kind of imagining as that's happening, I'm trying to pepper her with small talk, sort of like
Yeah.
what Yoon started, but maybe
Yeah.
a little more gently. Not just going straight for do you not
Right.
like your job now? Like, what's going on? Maybe asking some very surface level personal questions of what do you like to do when you're off duty, or do you ever get to travel much, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
Just trying to build a little bit of a rapport, I think.
Well, cool.
just to
Since
see
we're
how
building some
responsive she
rapport,
is.
we should give a name to this
Sort of.
this young Chiss woman, or young woman, I think.
Sure.
So her name shows that she has never been off of Scylla, because she's taken the shortened name, but the shortened name, it means nothing to her because it's just a shortened version of her actual name. It is Pawn. So it sounds a little bit like a pawn, but she doesn't recognize that.
Sure.
So she let's have you do a little tweak, a little manipulation. What are you trying to
Yeah.
get from her?
So yeah, I think big. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess the way I imagine it playing out is trying to get her to open up, and then eventually I'm probably going to put the question to her of probably don't see a lot of other humans around here, do you? Trying to get any kind of lead on Zuba, basically.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
All right, I'm not great with. Oh yeah, that's right. It's -1. That's fine. It's fine.
And more graceful than my approach.
All right.
Well, let's let the dice hit the floor before we say that. Before we go off, declaring it graceful.
That's pretty bad. I think I might call for help.
Oh my! Do you wish to help, or do you wish to?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Please.
Okay. How are you helping? I think there's a moment, a pregnant pause when you ask about the human, and she.
Oh, yeah. So then because I don't have my helmet on, I'm like me, right? They look like me. I'm human, right? We've got hair kind of like this, and then I start describing human with myself as an example. to her as if she doesn't know what a human is. I go through that.
Okay. Cool. So then I think you're using your charm.
Yeah, but it's 0. It's not negative.
Yeah.
There you go.
And hey, my roll can't get any worse, so whatever happens.
Yeah, I don't have a way. I can't. Yeah, I don't see being tough about it working
Unless
out.
you want to
Guys.
intimidate
Right.
the poor girl.
Yeah.
I gotta
I think
pull up
you're
my
being
roll.
fair, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, probably
Let's
not.
see how your help, how it works out. Get nothing to lose. Sorry to fail.
There it is. That's right. It can't get any worse, right?
Can't get any worse. It's all good.
All right. I'm waiting for my roller to come up. Here it comes. There it is. And just
You thought you were going to get
2d6.
through a whole game without rolling. Crazy.
Well, so I had the wrong one up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Cheekiness.
I've been cheating on this game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, with a flat roll, you pulled it off. That is cool. So that moves it up to a mixed
Mixed
success.
Yeah, so I
And
think Yoon is adorable in doing this, right?
Very endearing. Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
And I think that's her reaction to it. And she laughs a little bit with a human like me, and she laughs and says, "Oh, do not be coy. You are speaking of Zuba. Of course you are. She is so very interesting." And that's when you hear from the hallway, because the door, she never closed the door.
Yeah.
She did not trust you enough to close the door.
Mhm.
You hear, "Did I hear someone call my name?"
Oh yeah.
And that's where we will take our break.
What?
Darn straight. So, as you guys know, this is the last time we'll hear our 7 minutes of wonderful music.
Oh man, that is right. Yes.
Oh man, I'm so tempted. You know, should I go with the trap music for the last time?
It's,
Or
it's
should I
whatever
go with
makes you
what we
feel
did
good,
recently?
man.
All right. They all make me
Whatever
feel
makes you
good.
feel
That's
good.
why I
Good.
share them with people. Make
I
it
am amazed at the efforts you put in to make it different every session, right? You've always got something different. So
I know. I'm going back to an oldie for this one. I'm doing
An
it's
oldie but
trap.
goodie.
It's trap music. I'm sorry. I love it. Here we go. See you guys in a few minutes. About 8 minutes.